So hi everyone, we are now in our lesson 5 to 7 for Java programming. For lesson 5, we have the loops and exceptions. We have the 5 different or types of loop. So we have here the for loop, the while loop, the do while loop, the nested loops, and exception loop or exception handling. But we're going to focus first in these 3 common loops used in Java programming. So for the for loop, it repeats a block of specific number of lines using start value and a condition and an update step. And for the while loop, it repeats a block of code for as long as its condition stays true. And for the do while loop, the runs a code block at least once, then keeps repeating while the condition is true. So here are the examples for the syntax. Now I'm going to show you first the example for the for loop. So we have here the syntax for the for, initialization, condition, and then update. So let's try first to have this. So print the number from 1 to 5. So we have here the initialization of 1, and then I, and then this combination for the less than equal to, that will be 5, since we wanted to know less than 5 until 5, and then another semicolon for I++, that is for the increment value. So like that. And then we're gonna print the I. Tawago na to ang I inside. So like that. And then run. So let's see if pila ka execution. Okay. URL variable print I. Let's use ln. So let's first declare the I on top. I equals to 0. And I. Okay, so we have here the answer of 1 to 5. So that's how we print the numbers from 1 to 5. So now, this is for the for loop. So, ang saon na to para sa do while. So let's comment that out. For the do while loop, similar na siya, but you have sa while loop, similar na siya, but you have to initialize and then condition na yun update. So we have here the example. For the do while, so let's just not erase that one. Have first the initialization of 0 equals to, since all numbers starts with 0, diba? And then we have the while. Anyway, ano na siyang walawan. While, and then ang atong condition. Ang condition na to is I equals to less than equal to 5. And then ang ato tayong statement. Then ay hadayon siya mag I++. Or mag-increment. I. Bago na itong I. And then, I plus. So, like that. So, ayang update. So, let's try to. You have the initialization first, and then, sorry, in teacher. Okay, I forgot to put in teacher. Okay, so we have here 1, 0, 1, 2, 5. So inana ang execution ni while loop. How about do while? So saan na to si do while? So we have here the syntax for the initialization and then do statement, then limit ng iyahang condition. So, i-do niya first, and then ay siya mo verify. So, grabe ka, strange, no? Do, 5. Do sa ta first, and then, ang atong statement. I-print na to siya una. Print, ln, I. So, na siya. And then, I have dayon tama, increment. Plus ang iyang increment. I plus 2. And then, ang iyang condition dayon is sa init na. So, do while. So, that's why my favorite is for loop because sayon na kay ang for loop. No? And I equals to yes, 5. Okay. So, we also have the same answer of 0, 1 to 5. So, that's how you execute it. So we have also here the creating classes and classes and objects. Okay, so we have a class, a blueprint of like a house design, and an object what is built from it, and we also have the methods. A method is a block of code inside a class that performs one specific task. And we also have inheritance. One class can you reuse the properties and methods of another using extends. So we also have the method overloading. So this is to reuse different parameter lists, so just like this. And the method overriding. So I'm gonna show you the very simple demonstration of how to perform all of these. So now here we have the creating classes. It is a blueprint used to create objects, and an object is an actual instance of a class. So think of this way. So a class is like a blueprint of a house. An object is the actual house. Okay? So Java uses classes to group related data attributes and actions. So this is why Java is an OOP or OOP language. And we have here the syntax. So we have the class and then the class name, and then so for example we have the class student, and it can be also the class dog. And creating an object, so an object is created from a class. So Java uses new keywords. So we have the syntax of class name, object name, and then new class name. So you're just gonna call out the class name. Okay, and then for example we have here the student, and then student 1, so on and so forth. So first I'm going to show you the class. So we're going to create a class here, class. Okay, and then we have student, and then parentheses. So now we have a class, and let's try to create an object of the class. Okay, so we have a student, and tawagon na to ni siya na class equals to sama na siya new student and parentheses. Okay, like that. Okay, and let's not forget the SOP. Print student created. So just like that, and let's try to see the output now. So okay, we have the student created. Now let's try to add some maybe a class with attributes. So now we have student, maybe its name for the student is John, and his age is 16 or 15. Okay, that's already good.
And oh, forgot to put DC. Forgot to put this one. Okay, and then I want to know, so you should not forget this object, no? Because now we're going to call a certain output, okay? So ano to pagpa-output ni siya? From this class into here. So let's try to output student 1. Tawagon na to ni student 1. 1 dot name. Okay, iyang name. So that's how you output it. So we have a value John, okay? So now we want to know its age. Okay, same nagyapon, and then we're gonna replace this one. So it's that's so easy. So we have John and its name. So let's try to concatenate name plus John, age plus John, and okay, perfect. We have now name is John and then 15. So we can replace this with a new variable value, okay. Now we want to try to add a method that returns a value, okay? Maybe a sum of two numbers. So let's try to know a calculator. So let's try to replace this calculator, and I have here an integer of, maybe try to int add. So let's have a int add and return. So this is now the method. So we have a method inside our class, okay? So method of returns a 5 plus 8, okay? And for our output, what would be the output? So saan na to ni siya tawag? Okay, so tawagon na gyapon nimo ni siya. You replace this with the calculator 1. Calculator 1. And then, or maybe some sort of a calculator. Okay, and then calculator. Okay. And then let's output this. Call that. Tawagon na to siya, si calculator, this one. Maybe so. Let's try to put this as lowercase, okay? Calculator. And add. So tawagon na to ni method. Oops. Okay. Add. Maybe yeah. And run. Okay, so we really have a value problem here. And let's try to. We're getting more errors now. So this is the part of debugging. Okay, read that one, student. Oh, I see. Okay, there. Okay. It should output so calculator 1. Okay, we keep on having errors. Now we have the answer of 13. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's concatenate. Okay, so perfect.
So hi class, I hope you're doing great. So we are now in lesson 7, arranging with arrays. So this is declaring an array, pick a data type, add square bracket, then give the array name. So it can be scores and it can be also maybe names. And it's right to creating an array. So this is how you allocate space for the array values using the new keyword. So we have integer int, and then the identifier, which is the score, and then there is a new int. So this is how to create an array later. So I'm gonna show you that one, and then we also initializing an array. So assigning and starting values directly when the array is created. So you can easily create or initialize an array, and printing array contents and program using array. So we can now integrate the for loop into our arrays, so like that. So first I'm gonna do some demonstration. So like in here we have an array, which is a collection of variables that stores multiple values in the same data type, or of the same data type. So instead of like you are declaring multiple data variables, just like this one, you are declaring multiple entries there, you can just use an array. So just like that, so isahan na lang siya. Arrays are useful for storing any data, like the students, scores, names, etc. So declaring an array, so array means telling the Java what type of values array will store. So we have the syntax, the data type, and then the array name, okay? And then we have the examples here, the scores. So let's try to create a arrays, okay? But in here we'll just like try to first have an example. Okay, so in here I already have the array of score. Okay, array of scores. And then now I wanted to know, or I wanted to display or output certain score only. So an array is arranged as this one is, we have here this one, this is 0, so it's arranged like that. So 10 in the number system, so that means 0, so it's arranged like that. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4, so it's like that. So nana na siya class. So if you're going to print certain score only inside that array, so let's try to print, and then snippet. Okay, let's use this. So you'll just need to maybe let's try to see the first score lang, no? And then let's see what will be the output. Okay, we have the first, so let's try to put the first score like that, and then concatenate, and tawagon na to ni ng iyang identifier or array name, scores. And then do not forget the index. So what index you wanted to call. So let's try to see the index 0. Okay, so let's try to check the output of this. So we have here the score is 10. So in the index, 10 belongs to index 0. Okay, so we have here the output of 10. So inanaon na siya class. Just so easy, diba? Now, ang saon na to para to display all elements inside that array. So what we gonna do? Okay, so i-comment ako ni para di siya mawala. Okay, how can we display all elements? Display all elements inside from that array. Okay, so imo lang japon siyang gamitan og for loop. So diri na dayon nimo i-integrate si for loop. So we have here the scores equals to, so let's just try to use I equals to 0 semicolon, and then let's not forget that that is an integer. Okay, semicolon, and I again, but this time it should be less than. Okay,
less than siya class. Less than. Then tawagon na to si scores. But let's have a function of scores. Okay, let's wait. Scores dot length. Okay, para that's the function. That's the length. Because we wanted to output all the list. And then semicolon again. And I equals to no, this is increment. Okay, increment value na. And then inside this for loop you have your statement. So pwede ra siya inano print. So our message is scores and concatenate. Tawagon na pud nimo ang scores and your index will be I. Okay, like that. So let's try to see the result or the output of this work. Oh, we have a problem in line 77. Okay, let's try to go back and find the symbol. Oh, I see, there. So that's how you debug it. So we have the scores then. So let's just try to maybe remove this, and then okay, let's just try to remove this, and let's try to put ln so that mag next line siya. Okay, and then, oh, there. Now we have a score of 10, 20, 23. So that's how you output all the values inside an array. And now we want to see the or display the index value or the index and the value. Okay, so how we should print this out. So let's just try to use the index word. Index. Okay, message, and then tawagon na to si I, the condition, the initialize, yeah, and then I na set, and maybe let's try to use a equal sign. Okay, 176. Oh, there, we forgot to concatenate, to add and then okay, so we have the index. So we have now the index 0 is equals to, it's not making sense, right? The index 0 is equals to 10, the index 1 is equal to 20, so on and so forth. So it's not making sense. So let's try to put that space. Okay, it's just so easy, diba? So that's it for our array.